In this video, you will find out why I really stopped doing hair. This was the video that helped me make my decision, and we're going to break it down today. As you can see, this video had 1 million views before I made it unlisted and cut the comments off. I actually cut the comments off probably about 6 months before I decided to just completely stop doing hair altogether. But this is one of the videos that helped me make that decision. Now, right now, I'm spraying Silk Fusion Therapy, which has silk amino acid in it, so keep that in mind. But this beauty that you're watching right now, this was not her first, second, third, fourth, or fifth time in my chair. I did her hair, her mother's hair, her sister's hair, and her grandmother's hair. But this day in particular, they had taken her, she had been swimming, and she had also removed braids from her hair, and her hair was wet when she got there, right? So her hair was so matted and so tangled. But I, at the beginning of my career, had really extensive training on properly detangling hair and being able to keep the hair from experiencing massive breakage. Remember, there are 3 bonds holding your hair together: the salt bond, the hydrogen bond, and the disulfide bond. And right now, the hydrogen bond is broken. The hydrogen bond is the temporary bond within the hair that is broken by water. But, you know, in this video, I remember a person who will remain nameless, their channel literally took off from this video, and I remember they sent so many people over here, and the comments were horrific, where people were like, "Oh my god, you're so rough on her hair, you're pulling so much." You guys, at this point, again, what you're looking at right now are the different layers of the hair's cuticle, and that part on the bottom is the hair's cortex, which is where the melanin and all of the bonds within the hair shaft live. Now, the reason that you don't see a whole bunch of conditioner is because the thing that's within conditioner that gives slip is the silk amino acid, and the product that I use is full of silk aminos, so I didn't need that. It was very easy for me to detangle her hair, but it was so time consuming, and we're having a transparent moment, so if you're easily offended, this is not going to be the video for you. Okay. Emotionally, I really didn't want to review this video or to do a reaction to this video, because you guys, this is literally the video that me and my husband sat and looked at together, and he was like, "You know what, you're done with this, like, this is over, we're doing something else," because the levels of disrespect in the comments of this video from the person who did their initial reaction and just kept reacting to all of my videos after this one, they like brought this whole group of people over to my channel, and at the time I just wasn't in a place where I was mentally strong enough to be able to like be going back and forth and argue and be combative with people, because the truth behind everything is when you first get on YouTube, you have no idea, like nothing can prepare you for the amen corner, for the grandchildren, for the negativity. It's almost like most women get on YouTube, find videos with titles of things that they disagree with, and they get on there and they just go at it. So it was really hard, because this person in particular, their channel, like what they bring to the hair industry is sitting and reacting to other people's content, right? So in this video, what was actually happening, again, her hair was already matted when she got there. They had already attempted to get some of it out, so that's why her hair was wet. And I remember multiple times throughout her appointment leaving, going in the bathroom and crying, because even though this video is under 25 minutes long, my baby, it took me a good 7-8 hours, well, that was a lie, a good like 5-6 hours to detangle detangle her hair. Like they would come and leave and go pick somebody up, go drop them back off, come back, because I still had 10 other people to do, and I did not account for having to detangle all of her hair like this. Okay, so on the screen, what you are looking at is not the little girl on the screen. This is one of my customers, right? One of the women that I booked a one-on-one consultation with me. Her daughter had a whole lot of different negative experiences from her scalp, and the things that her daughter was dealing with were the same exact things that had led this client that you're watching into this situation. Now, the person who did the initial reaction was like, oh my gosh, she's pulling so tight. Again, this appointment took hours, like over 4 hours. So the fact that this video is something you guys are watching in 21 minutes means that a lot was edited out. Most of this video is fast forwarded, like on times 20. Even the parts that look like real time are not. So again, these are more pictures of the balding that my client sent me from her daughter. Make sure you check the links in the description box below to find the video specifically on her and what she, well, not on her, but what she took, the product that she used, my Bodak Blue, right? And everything that she did, because it's all about holistic healing. And the reason that I said this was the video that really helped me make the decision to stop doing hair, it had nothing to do with the little girl, but it had everything to do with just knowing what I wanted to do, knowing what I wanted to bring to the industry, and knowing that these are the people that I am up against. These are the people that I am trying to help. And it really bothered me, like a lot. And at this time, like I told you guys in the video linked in the description box below, I was already like, okay, God, I don't think I'm supposed to be doing this anymore. I want to focus on hair growth, hair care, holistic healing from the inside out. And I knew that I could not do it here on YouTube the way I was doing it, and that's why I made this video private and all of my other videos, because YouTube became a place that was no longer healthy for me. It was no longer fun, right? But this is what I really wanted. Great. Listen, this is so amazing, you guys. This is how her hair turned out. She looks absolutely beautiful. You guys saw how her balding was, where the thinning was, and everything. And this is what her hair is looking like. The balding is gone, and her mom has a brand new regimen, and the things that she used to do in the past that led her daughter to this spot, the ways that she used to do her hair that put her in that situation in the first place, those things are completely null and void and non-existent, right? But I knew that leaving the hair industry was something that I had to do. There was no way that I was going to be able to get this result from people still standing behind a chair. It just wasn't going to happen. And at that time, it was like really hard for me, because I was like, okay, I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, they ran me out of the industry. It had nothing to do with that. But it's like the way that women were during this video, the way they were in the comments of this video, in the rice water video, all of the videos that I've made in the past. And if all of the people that have Guru Elite memberships can still go watch all of my older videos without edits, right? But one thing you guys will notice, I wasn't teaching, right? Because that's not what YouTube was. It was just broadcast yourself, broadcast what you do. So I was just broadcasting what I did, and in the midst of that, you had YouTubers searching for clout. And when you searching for clout, the first thing you're going to do is try to find somebody who's doing stuff that everybody's paying attention to and come up against them. And that's something that I was dealing with. And I just decided, you know what, y'all got it. I decided during this time, and people can say what they want. Some people can be like, oh, that was a punk move, you should have stayed. But it just wasn't worth it, right? I had to really do some shadow work and really sit down with myself and say, okay, how is this serving me? How does it serve me to constantly bite my tongue? How does it really serve me to constantly be arguing and going back and forth with women that I'm never going to see? Like, it's not serving me at all. And I just remembered, like, the person who did the reaction to this video, like, they were in the comments like, oh my God, it's so bad. Her mother and grandmother and then sister was sitting there the entire time. It was one point that they ended up leaving and coming back, but for the most part, they were there the entire time. But within the video, it's like most people, this video is still the same time frame, 21 minutes long. But again, she was there for 5 to 6 hours. So my question is like, how can you just create this whole scenario based on an edited 21-minute video that originally, before it was edited, took over 4 hours, right? And again, I know I keep saying it, but I just so vividly remember like stopping and going in the bathroom and just crying, because every time I thought I was done, it was more to do. Mind you, I had people like waiting for me. I was backed up. Like people were like, oh my God, Sam, you've never double booked before. I've never had to wait on you before. It was so bad. It was so bad. And no, I was not paid extra. It was bad. It was so bad. And the way that I felt when this day was over, I was just like, I do not want to do this anymore. Like, there's no way that this is why I was created. And at this moment, I'm like, there's no way that my mama was pregnant for 10 months just to birth me, for me to live and do this. Like, there's no way. Like, I vividly remember this was one of the worst days. And I almost went to, you know how I'll put the comments up on the screen? Y'all, it was so bad. Like, I seriously am not even I didn't even want to, and I'm not making the comments public again so I can go in there and read them. Like, when I say like poison, and I just decided after this video, I'm not doing it anymore. And it was so funny because once I turned the comments off, then the person who went viral from reacting to this video and other videos like this, they just took off. Like just as many videos of mine that they disagree with, I was like the going theme of their channel. And so many of the negative Nancys that are here on my channel right now came from over there, right? And this is, again, one of the videos that I was like, I'm done. You guys, at this point, I am blow drying her hair, right? Most people will be like, oh, why didn't you comb it out? Well, her hair was already wet when we got there. Your hair is weakest when wet. So the more I detangle and comb and rake through her hair while it was wet, the more I was going to break it off. So the way that I was trained, right? And I paid a lot of money to get this training, and I'm really good at what I do. The way that I was trained, most of the time, especially when somebody has matting like this right after braids, most of the time that matting is the hair that is already detached from the follicle and the hair that is still attached to the follicle tangled amongst each other. And instead of me trying to separate them when the hair is in its weakest state, right, you want to get the hair in its strongest state, which is when the hair is dry. So once I was able to get the hair dry, I was then able to put a little bit of serum on my fingers, and then I was able to rake through these tangles, right? Again, this took me over 4 hours. Okay, over 4 hours, and not consecutively because I had other clients. Her mother only booked an hour and a half. Okay, so at this point, I'm detangling. It was around here that I stopped and left and started to cry because it was never ending. One of my clients used to come on her lunch break, and she had to reschedule her appointment because it was no way that she was going to be able to there was no way that I was going to be able to get to her in time. There was just no way. It was humanly impossible, right? As you're watching these videos, make sure that you read the comments that are up on the screen, right? These are women who have just watched my channel and just taken a couple of my pointers, right? Just simply taken a couple of my pointers. Here at this point, this is another one of my clients that just couldn't wait any longer. Like, I had to get her in the chair and at least detangle her and to start going back and forth through clients, right? So these are things that I really want everybody to think about. But again, do you notice how her hair just went? It was just wet. You guys, it's because I had to go in there and wash her hair again. Oh, I remember crying so much this day. Yes, you just saw her hair wet again. Yes, because I had to go wash it again. because I had to put so much oil in her hair just to get the knots and the tangles out, and her hair would not have looked right. So yes, her hair had to be shampooed again in the midst of all of those clients I had in that one day. So it was, again, like, I was like, I'm just so done with YouTube and the hair world and stuff, because it was like for everybody to just jump on a channel and jump on a video of a person who all of their content, none of it really provides really good value. They're just repeating and regurgitating information, and then looking at other people and like, no, they're wrong, and I was just like, it's something I just no longer desire to be a part of. And at this point, her hair was coming out a little easier. It was a little easier for me to finish everything. I had gotten as many knots and tangles out as I possibly could. Okay, everything was looking really, really good. Everything was pretty easy going. So again, mom or grandma was there, and I asked, are we doing a trim or a haircut? Like, because she kind of needs a haircut after this. But they were like, oh, a trim is good. And they were in shock that this was the only type of breakage that she had, because you don't have to have that much breakage just because your hair is tangled, but there's a certain way that you have to do it. And I don't care what anybody says, your hair should never be allowed to get this matted and tangled ever. You are never supposed to use water and conditioner to detangle your hair ever. You're only supposed to detangle hair when it's at its strongest state, which is when it's dry. That's why I went ahead and blow dried it in the middle. And again, that's why I was like, you know what? This hair version of Sundial, I'm done with this. Now we're going to break off into science Sundial, because people can say whatever they want to say when all we have to go on is visuals from me holding a brush or a flat iron. But when I break down scientific facts the way that I have today in 2024, it's something that you can't argue against. And now today in 2024, everybody who was barking, now you can see who really bites. And most of the time, it's not the people who were barking before. And at this point, again, now we're just giving her a really basic trim. I do remember that I was showing her mom like what length we could be at, but what I'm comfortable getting rid of, right? And so we just cut what we needed to cut. There was like maybe like a half of inch more that needed to go. And guess what? She came back in like 2-3 weeks, and we got that off. And everything was even. But this was the last 2 months that I did hair. I made a choice this day that I was no longer going to stand behind a chair, right? And that I needed to figure out what I was going to do. But then once I got home, I was like, okay, maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's not that bad. But then when YouTube got a hold of this video and started creating their own narratives and stuff, I said, you know what? I'm going to transform myself into somebody that people are never going to stop talking. Like, I know that that's something that I can never get in front of. People are never going to stop talking. But if I give you the science, right, so that you know that you know that you know, not because Sin said, but because Sin shined a light on something, and then once I shined the light on it, you kept running and was like, oh my God, I'm gonna look for this myself. Like all of the women with the comments on the screen did. They all heard what I had to say, and they started doing the research for themselves, and they were able to verify what I had to say without listening to the Amen Corner. Listen, I'm not trying to get you to prefer my words over other people's. No, I want you to unlock that part of your brain where your common sense lies. And I want you to stop arguing and going back and forth in comments. I want you to stop yelling and arguing and cussing each other out in the comments about things that you know nothing about just because you're following a mess starter. Please understand, anybody who spends all of their extra time reacting to what other people have created, they lack the ability to create things on their own. Please understand that. Okay? So at this point, we are now done with the whole detangling process, and as you can see, I think I had on a jacket at the beginning of this video. As you can see, I didn't took the jacket off. This was a rough day, like a rough day. Okay, the first initial edit that I did, I'm not gonna lie, like old emotions started coming up because I just so vividly remember like my spirit like arguing and grappling with my spirit this day. And around, not even this day, the hardest was when this video was posted online. Even though I explained everything that I just explained now, the mentality that women had back then, like they weren't able to hear. It was whoever is barking the loudest, right? Whoever takes away your accountability the most is who people wanted to listen to. So now here we go, 6 years later, right? And let's see where we're at today. Just know that I took a little break, but I'm back with the jump off. And the sometimes you do need to like take a little break just to collect yourself, like collect your thoughts so that you're not overwhelmed mentally like I was in the past. But I can say that I'm so happy that I made the choice that I made to step from behind the chair and to focus on the science of hair, because now today in 2024, the amount of women's lives that I am able to change has not just doubled, tripled, or quadrupled. Like I cannot count anymore, and it makes me so happy because I'm just getting started. But for anybody who wanted to know, like, what was the turning point for you that really made you say, yeah, this is it, God, I hear you? It was the reaction that somebody did to this video. I was like, this is confirmation. So don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that somebody, oh, they hurt my feelings, so I left. I said, God, give me a sign. So just know that you let God use you in the perfect way, because without you, I would never have known how powerful I was and the ability that I had to go ahead and transform my career into something completely different. Things that I've always dreamed of are now possible. Things that you guys have always dreamed of are now possible. And I couldn't do it without the grandkids in the Amen Corner. So thank you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this video. And we have a lot more coming, but I just really wanted to get this out because I feel like it'll explain everything coming soon. Make sure you leave me some comments below, give this video a thumbs up, and put on them bell notifications so you're notified every time I post another video. Bye.